Hey everybody, welcome to this week's trade video. Starting off with an awesome set of stuff. Got some PS5 games that have just come in, like Rise of the Ronin. Nice to see some newer games coming in as well. Some really good condition besides that Wario World, GameCube and Wii. And some pretty nice PS2 games. And then some cartridge-based stuff. Cool manuals. Got some interesting toys. This is John Hammond from the the Legacy Collection, I think. That's a black analog pocket dock. I don't know if it works for other analog products, but it is still pretty cool. And we got our cheap stuff in the back here. Feel free to pause and check out what titles we got back here, because there's so many good titles that came in this week. Got the Goku controller and a really nice 8-bit Dove controller. Thanks everybody for trading, and we'll see you in the next one.
I know that this is a weekly trade-in video. We don't normally have clips like this in them where we're talking to the camera. Usually it's just filming trades, but I wanted to preface this next clip that I'm about to film because it's incredibly special, and this does not happen every time. I'm about to show you guys the gigantic PlayStation collection that we just got in, but only the PS4 version because I can't even fit the Vita stuff on the counter here to film. So you'll be seeing that probably in the next clip. I'm not sure who's gonna film it. It might be Jess, but either way, this is absolutely insane. This is one of the most expensive collections we have ever purchased, and the person that we got this from said this was about a 16th of their PS4 games, and I'm hoping and I think that this is probably the most expensive portion of their collection because most of these games are not cheap. So if they have 16 times this amount, they've got to just have like all the sports games, all the filler titles, all the common stuff, because there's very little of that in this collection so far. So you might be seeing more coming up, but for now, let's take a look at this incredibly massive PlayStation 4 collection. Oh my God, guys. This will not even fit on our shelf or in our glass case where we have the other PS4 games. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. We'll have to figure something out, but this is absolutely insane. So normally when I film these trade-in clips, well, I usually set everything up, we all film them, but whenever we do this, normally the games that are spine out along the wall are $12.99 or cheaper. Usually anything that's 15 bucks or higher, which is glass case games for us, we lay out like this. Because there are so many games this time, I actually tried to start by just laying out the games that were $30 or higher, didn't have enough room, tried to take out all of the $30 all the way up to $39.99 games, and so it was going to be 40 bucks and up here, wouldn't fit. So actually, the games that are laid out like this are $55 and higher. There's stuff along the back that is $49.99 and below. All of the ones that you see here with the reflections, those are in bags. Those are all factory sealed. The ones over here you see are not sealed, but they are in their original cases, of course. So I'm going to start by going through the stuff along the back here, and most of the ones that are on this side are going to be the more expensive ones because that's where I kept adding to when I had to condense this down. So a lot of these ones over here are going to be like $30 to $50, and then they kind of just get cheaper once you get over there. But there's so much stuff here. I'm not sure I can talk through the entire clip here, but I will do my best. There are a ton of games here that I've never seen, never heard of, and we have never had in stock, which, coming from someone who works at a retro video game store and has been here, I own the store, been here for, 5.5 years at this point, it's pretty uncommon that we see games come in that we have not at least heard of. But in this collection, I would say a good 40% of it, we've never seen the games before, and I've never even heard of a lot of them. So it's pretty crazy. For any hardcore PS4 collectors out there, jump on this stuff now because I do anticipate a lot of this stuff selling really quickly. We did try to be pretty fair on the prices. Lots of stuff we even marked a little bit down from like whatever price charting says. And I did confirm with eBay sold listings for a lot of them as well, because some of these games, there's only like a couple sold listings according to price charting, so I had to use eBay to kind of help gauge that. There are some import titles as well. There's a lot of strictly limited stuff, which is technically PAL, but they don't have like a region specific rating on them. They don't have like the PEGI rating. There are some standard PAL imports that do have the PEGI rating. We also have some Japanese imports in here. There's also some like Play Asia, like Asian imports. There was like one or two like Hong Kong or Chinese specific imports, and some other like random stuff as well. So, but mostly North American, USA released games. So those are all of the ones that are 50 bucks or less. And now let's go through the ones that are a little bit more expensive. And I'm just gonna try to kind of go through like this so that you guys can see everything. There is quite a bit here. And as you can see, $54.99, that's the cheapest out of any of the ones that I laid out here. I should also mention that there are a couple duplicates, as you can see here, not too many, but usually the ones that there are duplicates of, they are like limited run or something like that. So the guy just ordered 2 of them when they were coming out. Some of these do also include the extra stuff that came with them originally. So a couple of these have soundtracks with them. A couple, like one of them had like a bunch of stickers with it. And then some of them also have like the postcard things that come with them from some of the different like limited type companies. So if they were included here, we are including them with the game. We're not like separating them at all. And then these are the most expensive ones over here. These were $80, well, I should say $89.99 or higher. So Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, had no idea that was an expensive game, but there it is. Godzilla, obviously. This is one of the more like popular, expensive PS4 titles. We've had this one in quite a few times. And then we have Shadow Warrior 2, never heard of it. Jak 2, for some reason, all of the Jak and Daxter limited run re-releases on PS4 are kind of expensive. This is a Chinese import. You can see the rating here, or like a Hong Kong import. Fighting EX Layer. Never heard of it, but it's $150 apparently. Gree or Gris, however you want to pronounce it, one of Abby's favorite games. We have Darkwood, which I've never heard of, but that is an incredibly cool looking cover art there. I listen to a lot of death metal, and I've been getting more into horror movies, so that's right up my alley. Super cool. This Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy is like a cover variant, and it looks like it's the more rare version, at least from what I could tell on eBay. The sold listings for this cover versus the full color one were actually selling for more. So, I don't know. Then we have What Remains of Edith Finch. This is one of the only games that has like this cheaper type of seal on it. It's like, you can kind of see what I mean. It's not like your standard Y-fold seal. It is official, that's how they all are, but that's like the only game in this whole collection that had that type of seal. And then lastly, we have, I think it's pronounced Tamashi, and I have been informed since taking this in and filming a clip about it, this is from Limited Rare, not Limited Run, but from my understanding, it's like an employee of Limited Run or a former employee, I don't know, but I guess like they published a couple games themselves. I'm not like 100% sure how it all works, but there's a few titles. Most of them are incredibly expensive, and Poop Slinger is one of the ones that they did. So, you know, if you're collecting for PS4 and you want to get everything, these are the games to really, really look out for, because they're incredibly hard to find. We priced this one at $1,000. I can't remember if there was one on eBay either posted or sold for $1,500, but it was graded. I can't remember if it was posted actively or if it was a sold listing, but either way, tried to hopefully put a good price on this. It's a crazy price either way for a PS4 game, but they do, you know, they are sold or people are asking around this price for it, if not a lot more. So hopefully someone can use this for their collection, and this will fill a big gap in someone's library. So that is it for the PlayStation 4 portion of this collection. Part 1, I should say, because Tim, the guy that traded the stuff in, he is actually getting rid of all of his PS4 stuff, and he plans to bring the rest to us as well. But I told him after this, we're going to need a little bit of time to build some money back up because this was incredibly expensive, and we'll get the rest later. But that's it for PS4.
Hi everyone, it's Jess. I'm going to be showing you our trade-in stuff today. So this is a lot of the Vita stuff. So let's start way over here. So these are more big box items. Pretty cool to see. That little guy goes to A Rose in the Twilight. And a lot of the Vita stuff is in new condition, like sealed and real minty. And then over here is our smaller box items, so just like the little guys. But there is a ton of variety. Things from platformers to RPGs. So if you're a Vita collector, check out our website. Because I assume this stuff will not last long. So many titles I've never heard of, but interesting. Whoa, that one's expensive. Okay, then back here we have some of our filler stuff and some movies and anime. A little bit of VHS. A couple toys. Sorry about the glare. One Switch game over here. And then we have some handheld stuff. A lot of these came in loose, and luckily we had cases for almost everything. And that's everything. Thanks.
Do you guys ever just see expensive Pokemon cards and want to eat it? Cause same. Today's trade-ins are brought to you by Abby, the Pokemon card eater. Just kidding, I've never done that in my life. Or have I? Here's some Pokemon cards that got traded in. Anything that does not have front tags is gonna go in the binder. Anything that does have front tags goes out on display. Starting off with some Wii U, and GameCube titles. Xbox One, a million Assassin's Creeds, of course, PS4. Here's more 360 games. I don't know why I'm saying more, because that first one's technically original Xbox. Handheld stuff, NES cartridges, always need those, and our movies, as well as the guides that were traded in. And then here are all the manuals that got traded in. Quite a few. I don't think these came in with cartridges. I think they were literally manuals only. This guy's moving to Germany, so he decided just to bring all of his stuff in. I think that's the second time he came in. Got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Got the Technica Tune, which is like kind of a weird Vita game. Switch titles, Ratchet and Clank, Jack, Resident Evil, some Fallout stuff. Love Fallout games. I have put 120 hours into Fallout 4 since last month. And then there was some handheld stuff right here. Sorry, I moved really quickly. Aladdin. And then there's these three hanging out up here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I do trades.
Hello peeps, got the last trade clip for this nice week-long trade. Got some quality over quantity. Words are hard, thanks for bearing with me folks. Got some nice Amiibos here. My favorite is that little Yoshi. Look at his little hands. Looks like he's like excited to tell you about something. Got a lot of unique stuff in today too. The Wonder Swan color there, some games. Haven't actually ever heard of that before, so that was kind of cool to see. Budokai 2. Oh, I still need to play that Dead Space remake for PS5. I've heard good things. Got some Zelda for the Switch. Forget about the old Frogger logo. Nice. Ooh, Spyro Super Pack. Love to see that. Got some Lord of the Rings. Ooh, Omega Ruby. Detective Pikachu. Tamagotchi Life. And then we got some really clean NES games. Donkey Kong, I think the only one that is marked as poor. Where'd it go? Oh, it must be a cheaper one because I don't see it. But all the good stuff was like in really good condition, and even the one that was considered quote-unquote poor just had a little nick on the thing. Everything else was in pretty good shape. The first Pokémon movie. If you didn't cry at that when you were a kid, you're crazy. Got a Death Stranding backbone. Moving on into some cheaper titles with crossbow training up there. Mercenaries 2. I used to love that ad, the song they had when that was being advertised was really cool as a kid. Some pretty good things there. Wrapping on up with some NES, Earthworm Jim, got some VHS. Yeah, a lot of good stuff this week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't remember to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.